we'll start out today, as we often do, with just initial meditation, just kind of fully arrive here after all the clicking and the looking and the checking and all that stuff, to let go of the electronics and start coming inwards to this mind and this body right here. So taking your meditation seat, your meditation posture, you can do it sitting, standing, lying down, whatever works best for your body, but being in a whatever posture you choose, something that makes you feel supported, allows you to the body to rest into that support. So again, whether it's a chair or lying down in some way, but feeling the support of that, so that we don't have to work to hold this body up. So allow ourselves to relax into that support, but also inviting the spine to be long, alert, whatever that feels like in your particular body. Just an invitation for lengthening or alertness in the spine, the upper body, which allows the mind to be a little bit more alert, but not so alert that we're rigid. So a sense of relaxation. So these three characteristics of groundedness, alertness, relaxation, closing the eyes if you're comfortable, or just having a very soft gaze so you're not looking around. And we'll let the bell invite us into the first meditation. So with the fading of the sound of the bell, we're letting go of that sound and coming into inviting the mind to just be aware of how it is right now in this mind and this body, right here, right now. So the general mood of the mind, is there still the agitation from arrival? Or is it relaxing? You're curious about what's going to be next? Or in the relative quiet, can you feel it just kind of decompressing and moving towards sleepiness? What's the general energetic quality of the mind? Just noticing how it is. It's not good or bad, it's just this. And then bringing the awareness to the body, same thing. What's the overall energy of this body right here, right now? Does it feel agitated, like it really wants to move and doesn't want to be still? Or is it welcoming the quiet and the stillness and just calm, relaxed? Is it pulsing? Is it collapsing? Just how is it right now in this body? This awareness, this mind aware of how this body is, this mind and this body, they're not separate. So it's like this right now. And so this is the basic practice, isn't it? This is just knowing what the mind is knowing. So we're knowing this experience of this mind and this body right here, right now. And we're also sensing how it is, how the mind, the body are responding to whatever is happening right here, right now. And so moment to moment, that's the invitation to practice being more aware of how it is right now. And so what do you notice is going on right now? What's the mind aware of? Maybe feel the pressure of the body against whatever the support is. The feet feeling pressure against the floor. Maybe the hands, wherever they're resting, you might feel pressure there. Maybe you feel the heartbeat. Maybe you feel the breath coming and going. So you sense these sensations in the body. The mind is just aware of them coming and going. And then there's other sensations. There might be some sense of smell in the space that you're in right now. Or maybe there's sounds. You might hear sounds. And whether your eyes are open or closed, maybe there's a sense of some sense of light or some kind of visual sense. Even when our eyes are closed, we still have some visual sense. Maybe your mind is one that makes up visuals. You can notice that too. So we sense these 5 senses of the body. The mind is aware of those. And of course, the 6th sense, which is the thinking process. Thoughts are probably generated, like the thought, am I doing this right? Or what am I really looking at? Or what am I supposed to be doing? Or what did I have for breakfast? So maybe thoughts like that are coming and going in addition to these other senses. And can we just notice all of them coming and going? Not trying to hold on to any one of them, but just being aware, a sound, a thought, a body sensation, the heartbeat, maybe an itch, another thought, another sound. All these sensations coming and going. Most of the time, we're not even aware of them. They're all happening in this body, in this mind all the time, but we're usually so busy thinking and planning and whatever's going to happen next or regretting what we did in the past. We don't notice this. This is what's happening right here in this moment. So can the mind be interested in this moment to moment experience? This thought, this sound, this heartbeat, another thought, the breath, skin sensation, coming and going, and the mind noticing them all. And we can notice if the mind can stay interested in this moment-to-moment sensations, experiences, thoughts, sounds coming and going. Or if it's gotten bored and went off thinking about something, or it's preoccupied in some other way, you can notice if the mind has a mind of its own. Where does it go? And if it does take off in some kind of thinking, maybe something we're worried about or whatever, how does that feel in this body, in the mind, when it does that? So this is the basic practice, noticing, giving the mind something to do, pay attention to this moment-to-moment experience, especially the sensory experiences of the 5 senses. And noticing when thoughts or worries or plans or preoccupations, fantasies, sleepiness take over. And then gently reminding the mind, no, we're going to pay attention to this sound, this breath, this sensation. This full experience of this mind and this body, moment to moment. Is the mind present with this experience right here, right now, or is it drifted off someplace else? It's not a problem if it did, we just notice that, and because that's what the mind does. And then just invite it back. What's happening here? this mind, this body. Sensations, breaths, sounds, coming and going. So again, checking in to notice what the mind is paying attention to, whatever it is. What's the effect on the mind and the body? What's the response? And then resetting the intention to be present with this experience, moment to moment. And maybe that instruction is a little too nebulous for your mind. Your mind needs something more specific to do. And if it does, maybe choose the object of meditation, maybe the breath, noticing in breath, noticing out breath, the quality of the breath. So if you find the mind drifting, giving it something more specific to do in this body could be helpful. So the in-breath is like this, the out-breath is like this. How is it? See if that is something of more interest to the mind rather than just watching things coming and going. You can notice if the breath is long or if it's short, if it's shallow or deep. Does it feel easeful or is there some tension? So what's the quality of the breath? Getting more interested in that. Something that we take for granted, this process of the body breathing. Maybe you don't even feel the breath itself. Maybe you feel the whole body breathing. Receiving energy, letting go. What is it like, this body breathing? What's the experience of it? How does your mind experience this body breathing? Breathing in is like this. Breathing out is like this. And you can notice if that more specific practice of observing the breath allows the mind to pay closer attention and therefore not wander so much. Being present with this right here. So we do these explorations as a way of coming into awareness of the body, this experience of the mind in the body, instead of the usual habit of thinking, overthinking, triple thinking, or sleeping. So we do this exploration just to get to know ourselves better, this other aspect of our life that often gets forgotten. So how is it in this mind, in this body, right here, right now? What's the experience? How does that feel in the mind and the body? Is there ease or tension in all this exploration? There's no right or wrong answer. It's just like this. And however it is, can this be okay? This right here, right now. in this moment. So the bell invites us to bring the awareness back to the surface, from being focused on the body, and just maybe reflect a little bit on what you might have noticed during that. Since it is kind of a settling in meditation, usually there's a range of experiences. Sometimes it takes the mind a while to settle down. Sometimes it settles down so much that we fall asleep. Probably a number of things happen. And these are all just different aspects of this experience, right? This mental experience. But each time we observe it, we get to know something more about ourselves and how we're relating to our experience here in each moment. So, we often do that exploration of paying more attention to the body, again, as an alternative to our usual day-to-day habit, which is thinking, planning. You think of during the day, how much time do you actually spend being aware of your physical presence versus what you spend deciding what you're going to do next, or thinking about what you did 10 years ago, or fantasizing about something, or sleeping. These other mind states that are kind of in the thinking sort of category versus the sensory category of the other five senses. And in our mindfulness practice, we're trying to invite all six senses, awareness of all six senses. And but this aspect of thinking, the one, even though we talk about being more aware of the body, a lot of people think that the purpose of meditation practice, especially, but just mindfulness in general, is to stop thinking, right? I'm doing this so I can stop thinking. I'm tired of thinking. Like, I think all day, I want to break from this. And there are some meditation techniques we can use that to try to calm down a little bit, to get out of that spinning cycle of the energy created by overthinking. But the mind is going to think. It's going to generate thoughts. We can get them to slow down and calm down a little bit, which can be a break. But whether it's in meditation or in everyday life, part of what I've been thinking about these past couple of weeks is thinking about the quality of thinking. There's thinking that we have to do. We have to plan something. We can sit down and logically plan it or whatever. And so that's thinking that needs to happen, right? But what happens when we come up with a plan and then we go, yeah, but what if, and then we revise the plan and then we put it down for a while. Yeah, we think we're done. And then we come back to it again, and then we think again, and then we think, and we just feel ourselves going into a cycle, or it turns into that, and that would be called probably rumination or worry, when we get into those kinds of cycles. So there's thinking that's productive, creative thinking, and if you're working on an art project or music or something, or you're trying to come up with an idea of what to do for a friend who's in trouble. These are all, think of how that kind of thinking feels. It feels enlivening. There's a clarity, there's a positive energy that comes from that kind of thinking versus the thinking that comes from ruminating or, judging. Like when we judge other people, it's like they're bad people, like feel how the heart contracts and, you kind of go into an inner condition and it feels heavier. So to start paying attention to what we're thinking and how it affects our sense of well-being, and is the thinking productive or is it not productive, and does it produce stress and tension between ourselves and others, or tension of ourself with ourself, if we have self-judgment or self-doubt.
So, hi everyone, it's Nancy. I'm gonna Jenny, Jenny, you froze up for a while there,
Oh, thanks for letting me know.
but you're back right now.
Yeah, okay, thanks for letting me know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have a sign on my computer that says my internet connection is unstable. Just like the rest of me. So anyway, you get the gist of what I'm talking about here with the thinking. What I'd like to explore in this next meditation is just, the same thing as we did in the first one. We can watch things coming and going, and thoughts will come up. But if they come up, we can just watch what the effect is of a thought on the body. So even if a thought about, yeah, I need to do this, the thing is, do you get lost in that thought and it turns into tension or obsession, and nothing else is around other than that obsessive thought? Or does a thought just come and go? Or is it thinking about, I wonder what the effective is, because when we're giving ourselves instructions in meditation, we're thinking, right? We are thinking. We're being mindful. We're thinking about staying present. So there is some thinking process here, but noticing what thinking it leads to stress and what thinking leads away from stress. So that's going to be the invitation to explore in this meditation. So we can retake our posture. And again, hopefully my internet won't shut out. If it does, just keep practicing. I'll eventually come back in. So take our posture, feeling grounded on our support, upright, yet relaxed, closing the eyes if you're comfortable or just not looking around. Bringing the attention inwards with this invitation of the sound of the bell. So letting go of all those words, those ideas. You may be mentally arguing with everything that was said before, and you can just notice that too, and notice the effect of that. So how is it right here, right now, this mind and body? Are you thinking about thinking? Or are you present with this sensation of the body grounded and the mind aware of moment to moment what's happening? So for this, I just choose as a meditation object either something specific or this moment to moment, noticing what's happening in the 6 senses. So setting your intention for what you're going to pay attention to. But setting the attention to stay aware of what the mind's paying attention to and what the effect is. And thoughts will come up, and we can notice what's the effect of that on the mind and the body. Let's start by grounding just in your meditation object. The breath, or changing sensations, whatever you choose, just being present with that and regrounding the awareness in this moment-to-moment experience right here, right now. And we can notice what the mind's paying attention to. Is it still with this moment-to-moment experience? Or has it gotten caught on something? And if it has, thoughts or plans or sleepiness, noticing the effect. And then resetting the attention to come back to our meditation object, the breath, changing experience, moment to moment. Noticing what the mind is paying attention to. Still with the moment-to-moment experience, the six senses or breathing, whatever your object is. Or if it's caught a thought and is holding on to it, we can notice what the effect is of that. Or if there's sleepiness, we can notice the effect of that. Or if it's drifted off into a fantasy, we can see the effect of that. And then re-inviting the mind to come back to the meditation object. And if it stayed with the object, how is it right now? Staying with this moment-to-moment experience. Can we notice how the mind and body are when we're just present with this, in this moment? The mind stay interested and content with this moment-to-moment experience. Keep observing, see what happens in each moment. What is the mind paying attention to? What's the effect on the mind and the body? Is still with the meditation object, and is there a sense of ease, calm, or okayness? Or did the mind get caught on planning? Maybe there was a body sensation it didn't like and makes saying this is unworkable, and we're caught on that. So we just notice where the mind drifts off to, if it does. And then just inviting it back to being with this meditation object that we selected, the breath, or changing experience. Noticing moment to moment what the mind's paying attention to and what's the effect on the mind and the body. ease or stress. Is the mind still interested in this experience of your meditation object? Or has it become interested in something else? Just notice what the mind's paying attention to. If the mind keeps getting distracted by thinking, you could even use thinking as an anchor in your meditation. So you could use a labeling technique. So if you're breathing, you just go breathing in, breathing out. So giving a name to it would give the thinking mind something to do rather than wandering off. Or if you're watching changing experience, label sound, pressure, breath, heart, thought. So if you're having trouble staying with this practice, you could try that labeling technique as a way to use in thinking or labeling to counteract an overactive processing mind or a complaining mind. But if what we are doing is working for you, just keep watching the moment-to-moment experience. So go back to your meditation object. Just invite the mind to be curious about it moment to moment. What is the mind paying attention to right now? Just noticing, not judging as good or bad, just noticing what it is and how that feels in the mind and the body. So this is directing the mind, using the thinking mind to remember to pay attention moment to moment. And then we're evaluating what's happening in each moment, the effect on this mind and body. Things are coming and going and no drama. It's just relaxing. Oh, it's this. No, it's this. Or if we're caught in a strong body sensation and the not liking of it, that has a whole different feel, right? And how is that? Or lost in a plan or a thought, a worry, a story. How is that? Or lost in frustration with this practice. How is that? Am I doing this right? So these are just different explorations that we're inviting here. Different ways of the mind observing the habits of the mind. So come back to resetting your intention to be with a meditation object with curiosity and kindness. Go back to being with it. Can we be with it each moment? Mind staying aware and curious. What is the mind aware of right now? What's it observing? What's the experience? And how does that feel in the mind and the body? So bring the awareness back into the sense of the body from wherever it is right now. Just coming back into the sense of the body, breathing, receiving, letting go of energy on the inhale and exhale. Feeling the connection to whatever we're being supported by. So feeling that sense of the body, and the mind is aware of these sensations in the body. This is our moment-to-moment experience. If we're paying attention, can we just be with that? Can this be okay? Right here, right now. So the bell invites us to let go of the practice, bring the awareness back to the surface again. And just noticing what happened during that meditation. There were a range of things offered to look at. Maybe you had different experiences with each one. And you can see if you find yourself judging what was good or bad. Notice that thinking quality of the mind. So, and just letting all that go and just being aware of coming back together again here. So, yeah, so then those kinds of explorations, we do this in meditation to try to become more and more aware of, first of all, something other than thinking, right? That there's 6 things happening at any time. And so trying to increase the awareness of all the other aspects of our life besides thinking, but also noticing if the mind does think, what the effects are. And maybe during that sit, maybe there were different types of thoughts that came up, and you can notice the effect of those different thoughts. So, and that kind of practice, the reason we do it in meditation, we're training the mind to do this observation so we can take it out into the outside world, right? So I encourage you to do this kind of practice. Just check in every once in a while during the day. Like, what am I paying attention to right now? Like, what am I thinking about right now? And how does it feel? What am I experiencing right now? And how is this mind, this body experience it? Is it stressful or not? So sometimes when we're thinking, it's really creative and enlivening, and it's like, oh, I'm thinking, and this is like really fun, Or if we're worrying, we can notice, oh my God, I'm thinking about this again and it feels so heavy, you know, and then we can ask ourselves, and why am I doing this? You know, so it's the awareness that we're doing it. We may think it's productive thinking, but if it feels heavy, maybe we should pay attention to that and think about doing something else other than this regurgitative thinking, you know, where we're spinning in a cycle. So just explore, you know, this is how we get to see what leads to stress and away from stress. And that's what this is about, the exploration through meditation, but also to take it into our lives to see if we can catch ourselves when we're stressing ourselves out too. So that's what I have to offer today. Hopefully there was something that was helpful, a takeaway. If not, just it's been a pleasure to be with you anyway. So look forward to being together again next time. So thank you for being here. And if you want to hang out and